This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more. Welcome to Tuesday, 184 live shows and counting, with one more before the year. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah. It is that season. It is awards season. And I want to thank you for everybody coming on and sticking with us, because I found out a bunch of great things the last couple of days. Carol, I did all the numbers. I just have to add them all up, and they look very good. So we are broadcasting obviously live. It's also Giving Tuesday. Always give, not once a year on Tuesday. Every Tuesday is Giving Tuesday. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, authors, fitness, wellness. It's about ages and timeless and looking good and being fit, right? Let's see. There's 4 fitness women here. And one, well, Carol goes into that too. She was a gymnastics coach, so she qualifies too. I'm the only one who would do cross training.
I'm black belt too. That counts.
Well, it does count, and it doesn't matter if it's Christmas or whatever, Thanksgiving. It's still about eating correctly, huh, Susan, and looking good. Hunland to Steele and Meri, all right. That's what it's about, and Terri too, because you got 2 bikini winners here. But here's the thing. All right, so Talk 4 TV, K4 HD radio on Talk 4 TV, and streaming on over 100 outlets right now, and also streaming on IT 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And so we're at 44 million views and counting. So here's something. This is interesting, because I almost threw up when I heard this. I've done 352 interviews. I am not doing that many interviews next year. That is 352 interviews. I was like, what is wrong with me? But the reason I had to do these interviews on the phone, by Zoom interviews, there was 56 Zoom interviews, and I have 2 more to go, December 29th. It doesn't end. I'm doing slam dance, Sundance, some fitness stuff. We're going to talk about all of that today, but it's about you women who is here. And Howard would come on later because he wants to go to see Shania Twain's daughter and talk to her, because Shania is going to be on sometime late next year. Yes, Shania Twain. Late next year, because she's working with Vince Morano on something, but I can't say what that is. So the good thing about all of this is Susan makes me laugh. I like her. I have to give thanks to Carol, because she talked me in to having the bikini, them. Carol, I'm not even going to talk. This is about you women. Carol, you can talk about Susan, and I'll talk about Meri, and we'll bring everybody in. Go ahead.
I would love to. Actually, I read a really cool article about Meri in Top Doctor magazine, and I'm so thankful to be surrounded by this energy in here of all of you amazing women who take such great care of yourself. Like, I'm absorbing. Whew, man. Susan Irby, you are the amazing bikini chef, and you are now involved in America's Next Bikini Chef. And what do you say? Talk and Thrive. Let me tell. I'll have you say it, but Talk and Thrive and Feel Alive, cooking and food tips for 2026. So Susan, as the bikini chef, has written 11 cookbooks. She's won 8 taste awards. She's a judge for the taste awards. She's nominated again this year. And her whole thing is all about high protein, high fiber, healthy fat, PFF food. And she's all about having you be involved in fitness and taking care of yourself. Susan, tell us even more, please. I'm so glad you're here, my friend.
Thank you all for having me. And Carol, all the women in the room are amazing, yourself included, and everything that you do. And Brian, when you're surrounded by these incredible fit women, you're fit. You're on the fitness train. So.
Not like all you women are. I do something different. I walk 10,000 steps when I'm solving problems, and I go out and run around with little kids.
Yeah,
but you mothers know what that's like.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful that you said that, because I don't know, a lot of people this year in 2025, I just feel like so many people in my life have really felt a lot of stressors and have been going through many, many different difficult times and challenges. And one thing you just said there, Brian, whether it's walking, running, whatever it is, you got to, the foods, I'll give some nice cooking tips and food tips for 2026. But one of the key elements is, the healthy foods are great, but you got to be active. And some of the best therapy and mind work I do is when I'm running or doing a power walking or some form of exercise. So wonderful. Kudos to you doing your thinking when you're exercising. Yeah.
And the good thing about that, so when you run into Meri, so we met, there aren't any accidents as Carol and I would know, and probably Susan and obviously Linda. It's one of those things where we met at the Miss Olympia. It was one of those things where Susan was always scheduled a couple months back, and I'm like, who I'm going to have with her. And so when Meri came around, it was one of those things, because her real name is America, and I like that name. And it's one of those things where you're that 2 times master bikini champion. Let's see, 23 to 25, and a 2-time IFBB Masters World Champion, 22 to 24, IFBB Master National Champion 2017, and I think she's won 26 times for IFBB Master Pro Bikini, if that's correct. Okay, see, that's a lot. That's just that. Now, that's not counting when she started at over age 40, and she's going to tell us why that happened. But also, Linda Steele's important, just like Terri's important, because other fitness winners here. So, Linda, talk about where you came from, how you started, followed by Terri.
Sure. I actually was nationally recognized personal trainer for the company that I worked for. I worked for Bally's way back when. And out of 4,500 trainers, I was their top female trainer in the nation. And I held that spot for several years. There was a different, maybe 5 different criteria that they based that on. But so I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I never competed. I never went on stage. That was just not something that I wanted to do. I know a lot about it. I wasn't really fond about the politics that went into it. And I also am not fond of what you have to do, like just the few weeks leading up to the show. That to me is something that I definitely wouldn't want to do myself. But I do definitely, those of you who've done these shows and who have won them, hats off to you, because I know it is not easy. So yes, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've owned my own gyms in the Chicagoland area. I have taken over gyms to make them profitable. So I've kind of been on all sides of the gym world, the fitness world. I'm a well-being advisor. I have, a wait list on my schedule for my clients, and I've had that for years. So
and she's an international best-selling author, Nerves of Steel, and Macro Maids. See, it's funny. I like to fill in the blanks when people are forgetting, because there's so much things that you women have done that you're not going to remember all of these things. Right. So Terri, Terri, and then Meri, going to go back to you. Go ahead, Terri.
Okay. So, I've been a fitness junkie my entire life. I did gymnastics. I was a cheerleader. And I always was fascinated with, wanting to compete, but I didn't get on stage till I was 46 years old, which was 10 years ago. And I won first place in medium bikini at Muscle Beach, and then second overall at my first show. So that was quite a shock to me. So then I did an NPC show. And I came in second place. Then in 2016, I was Masters Miss Bikini LA in Miss Fitness Universe. And then I've done several of Lauren Powers shows. I kind of retired from competing the last 10 years just because life got in the way, but I'm still in the gym every single day. And I think, being in my late 50s now, it's very important for me to, speak about protein and eating right, because basically 90% of this is going to be your diet. And the older you get, the more protein you need, because you need to keep your muscle mass on, especially like your skin gets laxer. There's other things that happen with hormones. So the diet becomes even more important. I do have a desire to try to get on stage this year, and I'm going to push myself. I know I've said that for the last 2 years, but I'm doing it more for myself, not for the trophy, just to push myself as a goal, as an inspiration, because when I go on stage, I'm only competing with myself. I mean, everybody up there is a winner if you're getting on stage. So I try to look at it that way. And also I've been with Brian since 2014. I do all the celebrity interviews on the red carpet. I'm also an actress. I'm also an orthopedic professional. I'm working in that space with, people that have ACL surgeries and arthritis. And see what else. And I also do a little bit of art. I've kind of got some ideas for what I want to do this year. So that's just a little bit about me.
And her interview is now at 1.7 million views. That one surprises me. I didn't know it was going to go that quickly. So congratulations to Terri on that. So and that's the one I'm talking about, which is on IT247, was with wow, test man dress put together, but by our publicist Meredith Corning PR, and Sophia Milas. So Meri, we got back to you because you know what it's like to be on stage at a later stage in your life, having health issues and being that stay-at-home mom. Talk about that, because I don't know anybody who's done what you've done when it comes to that, and then comes to be a winner.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I did start really late. I was 46 years old when I stepped for the first time on NPC stage. So, I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no idea where that's going to take me. I was completely new to bodybuilding, to fitness. I was never an athlete, so it was really, I was starting from scratch. And but very quickly I realized that I really loved that world, maybe because I placed second on my first show, even though I didn't know what I was doing. And my boyfriend wanted me to continue. He actually encouraged me. As I said, I didn't know what I was doing. That was totally something new for me, and was definitely feeling like I could do really good with sport, because as we all know, bodybuilding is kind of genetical, you need to have certain genetic dispositions to really become a professional one day if you want to go that route. Of course, not everyone needs to do that. It's not for everyone. It's very difficult. It's very demanding sport, but long story short, 1 year later, I won nationals and became IFBB pro by earning my pro card in Pittsburgh. And that's how I actually started on my professional bodybuilding journey.
Meri, it was wonderful to see the article in Top Doctor and see how everything happened so organically for you. I loved that. The way, it just all began to flow. And I'm curious, did you at any time while that was happening when did your vision for this develop, where you saw that this was something that you could do? Because I know you had to make the decision to go pro.
Yes, exactly. I never had any plans. Everything, as you said, happened organically. Even stepping first time on the stage happened by chance. I had a hysterectomy at 43 years old. And for a couple of years, I was feeling fine, even though everyone was telling me, all these changes are going to happen, hormones, early menopause, and, we all know. But I felt really good for 2 years and thought, I'm lucky. I passed all this, I escaped everything that I was hearing that will happen to me, and until one day it just hit me, a hot flash that was out of this world, and I immediately knew what's happening. So at that point, for the first time after a surgery, and when that happened, started thinking about what should I do to help myself, to feel better, to feel stronger. And that's how I started doing home workouts without thinking of anything. It was just about me feeling better, feeling stronger, getting back my, my body, even though I never really had any issues with my body. But, after a surgery and starting to feel all the changes of menopause, you do start to feel weird and question yourself and not feeling your best. So one thing led to another, and I got really into fitness and started my Facebook fitness page, where a lot of ladies, middle-aged and women who were experiencing similar things would ask me questions and advice on what to do, what exercises, how to eat. And because I was really doing everything just for myself on my own, just doing a research online, I didn't feel comfortable giving advice to other ladies. So I took a online course, like 6 months to become a personal trainer. And once I got certified, I started working in LA Fitness, where my manager was somebody who recommended and introduced me to idea about possibly competing one day. By that time, I didn't have a clue about women bodybuilding. That was never even on my radar. And that's how I got introduced to competitive bodybuilding.
Thank goodness you did, right? Thank goodness.
Yeah, so everything was happening just naturally, never planned to end up being where I'm today. And it took me a year competing in NPC, which is amateur league, to figure out what is this all about and what is the next step. So once I won my first NPC show, I start asking people around, so what's now? What's next? And that's when they told me, well, now you can go to nationals, and if you win nationals, you can get a pro card. And I was like, what is pro card? What am I going to do with that? And of course, I will learn more as I was going, and being successful in what I was doing, it was an incentive for me to continue doing it. And also I was feeling good. I was feeling better. My symptoms on menopause were really almost going away. At the same time, I was starting with what is the name? Identical bio replacement therapy.
Hormone therapy.
Therapy,
Yeah.
and a combination of doing HRT and working out really really helped me. I think that was the way out, and that's the reason why I always recommend women after older than 45, regardless if they're feeling symptoms of premenopause or menopause, to start looking into hormonal therapy and definitely start working out on regular basis, because I believe that that's what mature women going through that period, they need that in their life. It helps, and I'm 100% sure about that. So.
It's like it gives us hope, right? That, you know, when we're going through these symptoms, which nobody tells you when you're young what menopause is like. It's like going through your teenage years again, puberty, right? And maybe even worse in some cases. And, you know, to know that there's a way to bring that into control, I think is so powerful through fitness and through hormone therapy as well, is really encouraging and inspiring.
And what you're saying, you know, everyone expects teenagers to go through puberty and to that weird few years in their lives. And everyone kind of have understanding like, oh, okay, he, they are going through that stage. But for some reason, when women over 40, I mean, there are women who end up having, being in perimenopause in their early 40s, sometimes even late 30s. But more or less by 45, 50, women start experiencing those symptoms and changes in their body. And for some reason, until recently, nobody wanted to talk about it. When I was first time experiencing those changes, there was no talk about menopause on television or internet. Okay, everything was still, you know, social media was not what is today, but still there was very little information, and only what we could know is what our moms and grandmothers and older women in our life were going through, and even that nobody was talking too much about it.
Talk about it, yeah.
Like something shameful, and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to mention it, and you are just left on your own to figure it out and fight on your own, which I don't think it's fair, and I don't think women today should go through that. I mean, there are so many things we can do and to feel good. Honestly, I really don't. Last 10 years of my life were amazing, and I never felt better and stronger and fitter. So I do believe there is a way.
So Linda, I want to go to Linda first, because Linda, what started you training and why? And then we're going to show this trailer, and then followed by Susan. Go ahead, Linda.
What started me training? I started working out myself. I was about 30.
Same. Okay.
And I started working out. I was going through a divorce, and I knew someone was going to see me naked again one day. And I looked in the mirror and went, oh my God, I have to do something fast. So I started doing what I knew, which was cardio, because I can go to the gym and hit quick start, and I can run and I could do all those things, but that wasn't the way to do it. That's all I knew how to do. So it wasn't until I hired my own trainer that I became educated on what to do. And the program that I was taught, it's a balance of your nutrition, your cardiovascular activity, and your weightlifting. And all three of those have to be balanced within themselves, but then you have to balance them all together as well. So when I realized what the recipe was to actually get in shape and stay in shape, I felt like I had to tell all the other moms doing it wrong. I had to tell everyone. So what I wanted to do was get my certification and do just that. So that is what I did. And when I started training, I started with the same program that I was taught. I still, 20 something years later, train and teach that same program. Same program. I have clients who have gone away for years and they come back and they say, okay, Linda, I need a new nutrition tracker. And I'm like, all right, let me find the one I emailed you 7 years ago. Boom, there you go. And they're like, what do you mean that's 7 years ago? I'm like, your body's biology is still the same. For millions of years, our body's biology is still the same. Now, the difference is menopause. Sure, as we age, certain things happen. There are certain things that we need to take, into account. But I still eat the same amount of calories today as I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And is menopause affecting me? Sure. There are definitely things, you can only slow the aging process. You cannot beat it. We are aging, period. But you could slow the aging process by doing certain things and eating right and working out regularly. Those are the things.
Which goes into Aging Evolution trailer. And then when we come back from that, Susan, we're going to go into why you became that bikini chef, finding America's next bikini chef, and everything else. Oh, it's paused. Is it not playing, Rebel?
Imagine your 80-year-old grandma being able to do over 20 pull-ups.
Every time you pick up that weight, set your mind first.
Imagine being in your 70s but constantly mistaken for being in your 40s.
Even though I know I'm going to be sore as heck, the results are going to be awesome.
Imagine being almost 70 and having some of the best abs on the planet.
Once you achieve something, you want more.
Imagine being a 66-year-old billionaire able to keep up with the athletes on your team.
You get 50, you think I'm halfway through it. And then you get 60 and say, now it's up to me to try to figure out what I'm going to do.
This isn't just a fantasy. This is the new reality of aging. They said aging meant slowing down, but they were wrong. In Aging Evolution, over 20 extraordinary people break the limits of what aging is supposed to look like. It's not about living longer, it's about living better. These aren't just stories of aging. These are stories of transformation, strength, and purpose, redefining what it means to grow older.
The only limit for humanity is really the degree to which we persistently believe that we have a limit.
Because your best years aren't behind you, they're just getting started.
Just start today and do something.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay,
So
Linda.
So you could see that on all those platforms and everything like that. So Meri was in that doc. My friend Brooke Burke was in there. Obviously, Mark Cuban was in there. Lou Ferrigno was there. Michael Hearn.
I was thinking it was the one upcoming that Linda's doing. Sorry about that.
Well, what that leads to that, because that's coming next. and Phil was driving someplace listening to this. So I wanted to show that trailer. And then, so Susan, talk about the cooking aspect of on a whole different thing. You got 4 women. Well, I count, Linda in bikini too. She may be in something different, but she fits the mold as far as I'm concerned. So, and also Linda, say hi to your fans out there, your mom and everybody. So it's always good to see them pop in. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I had a direct order to turn my mic off when I wasn't talking, so I follow orders and I was frustrated. So yes, my mom is on. I saw Jeff on there. I don't think my kids are on today, but I have a few other friends on as well. So hi guys.
And that's always good to know. So these are a couple photos of Linda. Linda, I always find something with macro-made meals.
Yeah.
That's in Nashville, Tennessee, where me, her, Terri, and a bunch of the team were back a couple years ago.
That was so fun.
Very, very important, which goes into eating, which leads into, what Susan does. Susan, talk about what you created, you being that author, you being that, and going into Fit, LA Fit Expo too.
Well, I first want to address, whoever's
and
watching.
by the way, I love when she brings her dress out. That just makes me smile because I don't see anybody else doing that, and I think that's great.
Well, I want to address that for the viewers, people that are watching. So I'm not a bikini competitor, and you don't necessarily have to be a bikini competitor to eat well and be active and fit. So I grew up in the South, and no, I wasn't doing toddler pageants. I entered the beauty pageant system when I was about 13 and 14 years old at the encouragement of my modeling instructor, because I always wanted to be a model and move to New York. And that's a different story. So I began doing preliminary Miss America pageants, which is an entirely different type of competition, but it still requires focus, discipline, courage, confidence, and all these different things that go into active lifestyles and what you eat. And so the ladies here were talking about menopause and perimenopause and hormone replacement therapy. And I feel hormone replacement therapy obviously can be very effective. However, there are specific foods that you can eat that help alleviate or help promote, hormonal balance within your system. So the nutrition and what we're putting into our bodies is key. And I feel like so many people don't connect those dots. They think, they can eat this, they can eat hamburgers and French fries, or we're in the holiday season. Yeah, I know we're going to go to holiday parties and things like that, but you can still be very mindful of the quantity of foods you eat and the types of foods that you eat, and also how they're prepared. So how the foods are prepared is very important. So all of these things can help support and balance what these other beautiful, incredibly talented and courageous and disciplined women have been doing. The Bikini Chef, for me, it came about very organically. I grew up in Georgia and Alabama. We would water ski all day. We still do that today. I'm 60 years old. My parents I'm at their house in Florida right now, and they are 88 years old. My father today at 88, who's had his hip replacement a couple of years ago, he has what I call his turbo. It's not even a turbo walker. It's like, like those hiking bike, what do you call them? The bicycles that you go in the mountain biking. So this is like his island walker. It's got these special all-terrain vehicle wheels on it. And together we walked today. We walked 1.5 miles at 88 years old on his all-terrain mountain walker. And that's a testament to a healthy lifestyle. And my mom always was very active. She still is. She doesn't play softball anymore, but she's constantly out in the yard pulling weeds. But their diet is it's been on point their entire lives. It doesn't mean that they eat a balanced meal. And that's how I was raised. My mom was a culinary arts and nutrition major. And so she taught me a colorful plate is a healthy plate. And then over the years, I've incorporated that into lean proteins, high fiber foods, and healthy fats that go into every single dish, whether you're vegan or you're carnivore or a pescatarian. You can still incorporate those elements into every single dish. And
Susan, one of the things I want to interject here is that not only do you have a degree in media, but you also are a licensed chef. And in addition to that, you are certified in healing foods for the mind, right? And for the brain.
Not just the mind, I'm certified in food healing, and I have a food healing program that's available. I also do kitchen makeovers, because what's in your kitchen is what you're going to put in your mouth. So I was, when it comes to menopause, you hear this a lot, but it's a lot of foods that are consistent with helping prevent cancers and helping your heart health. But fresh berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. If they're strawberries, please make sure they're organic. And leafy greens. I'm a huge believer in arugula, kale, not so much spinach. And what other foods? Vitamin D that you can get from eggs and certain products. Fatty foods. So I'm a huge believer in salmon. I eat salmon almost every single day. And how is it prepared? How are these foods prepared? Grilled, broiled, without heavy sauces. If you're going to use sauces, use like a salsa, something that's freshly made. Vinaigrettes in your salads versus creamy salad dressings. So things that are going to promote a digestive flow and also stimulate your muscle strength and keep that muscle tone with the proteins, but the right kinds of proteins.
You're going to be on Fit Expo coming up. Do you want to talk about that and lead into a little bit more about the America's Next Bikini Chef series?
Yeah, so the Bikini Chef, I have to establish how that came about when I self-published my first book, Cooking with Susan, Southern Family Favorites, 25 years ago. I did a book tour and I was asked why I love to cook and what it reminds me of. And I said, well, it reminds me of home, water skiing all day on Lake Martin, Alabama, and we cook in our bathing suits, right? We're too hungry to change clothes. And so that was 25 years ago, and 11 books, 2 diet books later. Substitute Yourself Skinny was twice ranked by Fox.com as the top 10 best diet books in the country. I have The Complete Idiot's Guide Quinoa, which is complete protein. I've probably through my recipes of over 3,500 recipes in the last 25 years, I've helped countless numbers of families and individuals transform their diet and lives. So it's very exciting, very rewarding. And now it's time to find America's Next Bikini Chef so that the legacy can not only live on, not my legacy, but the legacy with these families and their children. And then the children will go into the schools. Maybe they'll take maybe the lunch approach that they take to school will be different and they'll share it with their friends. And so it really will have a trickle effect for not only America, but I'm hoping the world as well. So we're looking for America's Next Bikini Chef and at the Fit Expo Los Angeles, which is January 10th and 11th. Hopefully some of these ladies will be there. Brian, I know you'll be there. And so we'll be in the booth taking casting applications and the criteria for America's Next Bikini Chef. Because of that, it's kind of American Idol meets Miss America meets Next Food Network star. So each contestant, they don't compete amongst one another, lining up, cooking a dish. They bring their culture, their cuisine to the table, literally, and they prepare a dish that represents their lifestyle, their culture, their cuisine. It has that lean protein, that high fiber food, and healthy fat. So it can be whatever they want it to be, as long as it has those ingredients. But the next layer of competition is fitness. They have to demonstrate some kind of active lifestyle activity, whether it's going to the gym and being so disciplined that it takes, like these ladies here. I've done bikini competitions like Miss Hawaiian Tropic kind of. I haven't done those kind of bikini competitions. Honestly, I find it a little terrifying. So I commend you women on your courage that it takes to do that. And yes, congratulations. Maybe I'll join you. I'm 60, so you have to find a home for me. But Yeah,
Yes,
and then
Susan, you know, I just want to mention with America's Next Bikini Chef, for any of you who are interested in the casting process, it's going to be filmed in 7 locations, 6 regional, and then a finale in the Virgin Islands. The cash prizes are quite large. It's celebrity judges. And so it's going to be a really fun and exciting process for you to show off your ability to cook high protein, high fiber, healthy fat foods and showcase a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, your fitness, whether it's weights, rock climbing, whatever the fitness activity is. I really want to get that message to people, and there's no other show like it. So it is going to transform right into the viewers at home and wherever they are. And yes, so it's exciting because then the final layers, they have to answer the question, what does the bikini chef mean to them? How are they going to represent the brand? Because you're going to be the face of the brand. And we'll have 6 state winners. So we'll have California, Georgia, New York, Illinois, Texas, Florida. And then those 6 state winners, the state winners win $10,000 plus $5,000 for their charity of choice. And then the overall winner of the title of America's Next Bikini Chef wins an additional $25,000. So it is a very special, thank you. I'm super thrilled. And the ages are 25 to 55. So that's a broad age range. I cut it off at 55 for a very specific reason, because I'd like to do the 55 and over.
Hey, so going into that, Linda Steele, we have to talk about Macrame Co, where you are and how you and your daughter started that, because as far as I know, I don't think there's a mother-daughter team doing it, right?
No, we don't do it in bikinis, but I mean, I'm open. I could just see us in the kitchen right now cooking in our bikinis. We have been, so it started because I, being a personal trainer and having all my clients, I would meal prep my own meals every week, and my daughters would also, because their lunches would consist of chicken breast, Greek yogurt, string cheese, an apple. And so all the other kids in school are eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and my kids were showing up with chicken breasts. And so they were a little embarrassed about it, but then they realized that they were the only ones who didn't have cellulite on their legs in their age group. And they were like, oh, maybe it's the square pizza that they're eating at school versus my chicken breast, or, So anyway, my daughters and I would be doing our meal prep every Sunday, and I would put it on Facebook just for my close friends and family to see. And I had a number of clients ask me, can you, if I pay you, can you do my meals too? And I said, no, but Kendall said, I will. And she made a business out of it. And it was while she was in college. And that's what, that was her full-time job. And it still is, but she also helps me at the gym just because I need her there. But her full-time job is this meal prep company that she then started, initially with just my clients, but then it just snowballed.
And the interesting thing about that, because we only got a couple minutes left, and I got to show this Mr. Olympia trailer, is that Linda's daughter will work for her, and then the tides are changed, which is fascinating. And yes, I've seen it in person, and I've had the macrame meals, and I think it's great. And so I like to talk about that all the time. So not only do you have bikini, America's Next Bikini Chef, of what Susan does with Southern foods and everything like that, and then everybody bringing their own dishes in, which is fabulous. And then I like what Linda's doing in the local area of Chicago, because it's branching. See, I see it going cross country. So when she sent it to me, I wanted to send it to me in Vegas for a reason, that it was still good, and I still like it till this day. And I haven't had it in a couple of years, but I want one, Susan, still. But that's the good thing about that. So I got to show this trailer next, and then America, we're going to talk about you judging really quickly. All right, Rebel, let's see it.
Angelica, good morning. So I'm trying to get an update. We are reaching that point in our timeline, and I'm trying to get an update on where we're at with our ticket sales.
We are sold out. We are sold out as of today.
People know what the Olympia is and what it stands for. And we have these athletes that just come out of the most incredible places with this great drive, to be the best. We're an event that defies borders.
"59 Olympias have been held. We are on the brink of number 60, and only 18 men have held the title Mr. Olympia." To put it simply, to be Mr. Olympia isn't just a title, it is a name change.
I think people look at bodybuilding as a bunch of juice heads that take supplements and they get on stage, and that's really about it.
It's not just what you do in the gym, it's the 23 hours you're doing outside of the gym. Nutrition, the posing, they have to put in so much work to be able to get where they're at.
It gives me purpose. It gives me a reason to wake up. It gives me a reason to keep my life going.
People around the world are making arrangements to be here in Las Vegas. So what happens is you get to this point and you start to feel that. You start to feel what we're trying to achieve visually. There's so much anticipation for this year's event, and that brings pressure, the expectation to deliver something that outperforms anything we've ever done. Bodybuilding is comprised of a fan base of participants because they don't just observe it, they live it.
So, this is a great documentary, and I had to talk about it because I loved it. It was an honor being there for that. And thank you, Dan Solomon, and everybody else. And that's where I met Meri and Phil this year. But I see macro-made meals, Linda. I still see it going to a lot of people that don't know about it, which is a great thing. So I tell them all the time. And, is the what? I never heard of this. I'm like, of course you're not. Right now it's in the Chicago area, but everything started small at one point and then it grew. And so that's a good thing about that. Hey, Meri, got a couple minutes left. Oh, Carol, we got to talk about this real quick. Go ahead, Carol. I forgot to introduce yourself. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm family, right? So
yes.
It's the way it works. I am super happy to share with you guys that I'm passionate about taking women to 7+ figures. And one of the ways we do that is we start out at a wealth retreat at my boutique retreat estate in the Andes Mountains in southern Chile. And then it's followed by a fully integrated program where you have mentoring, community, high-level community, and strategy. And if you're interested in finding out what it takes to qualify, just give me a shout out. IG, Facebook, LinkedIn at Carol Register. If you'll see in the feed down there, my website, you got to put a www in front of it. I'd love to connect.
And then Meri, so you're a newly Christian judge now, aren't you?
Well, I just I just passed the test, and I was approved to be NPC IFBB judge starting next year in a few couple of weeks. So I'm hoping that will take off and that I will be successful as my pro athlete career was. I was pro athlete for over 9 years, and I just retired from professional competitive bodybuilding last August at Master Olympia in Japan. That was my last show. Master Olympia in Tokyo. So I just figure out, okay, I'm 57 years old. I've been doing this for 10 years. I did and achieved everything that I could even more. I never thought that one day I will step on the Master Olympia stage, because when I start competing and doing bodybuilding, Master Olympia didn't even exist. I mean, it existed before, but then it was they stopped doing Master Olympia for a few years, more than few years, over 10 years. And
hey, Meri, we got a couple seconds left. Tell everybody how they can reach out to you. Give your website. You have one.
Well, my Instagram, that's the best way. Just type in my name and it will pop up. IFBB Pro _ Meri, MERI .ABBADO, basically my name. And I will be happy to connect with anyone who is interested to know more about the Master Olympia, bikini, competing in older age. So yes.
Linda Steele, social media links, followed by Terri.
Linda Steele Wellness on almost everything.
And your book. Always supports your book, Nerves of Steel.
nervesofsteel.net.
Terri.
It's Terri Meri at Nonstop on pretty much all platforms, and I will be contacting you about the competing thing to give my motivation to get back up there this year, because I really do want to do it.
Carol.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach me at Carol Register on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm at NeuroCoach Carol or Carol Register on IG.
Susan. You're on mute too.
I was muted, but anyway. Yeah, so it's The Bikini Chef, and on LinkedIn, Susan Irby, but everywhere you can find me at The Bikini Chef.
So
And
subscribe, like, and follow these young ladies. That is most important. And I would never usually say that in the past. Now I say that since we're almost at 1 billion views. It is really, really important to support Macro Made Meals, Linda Steele, Nonstop, Terri Meri, Carol, NeuroCoach, Register, Meri, and Susan. And I always say this: happy holidays, everybody. Have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours. I'm Brian Sebastian. This are these women of movie reviews and more, and we will see you next week.